Hey, Matt here, back with another 200 Zoom Plain Explain. Uh, I was just actually recording for about 10 minutes, and then I realized that my mic was on mute. That's a common theme on my Twitch streams, so it only makes sense that I do it while I'm recording my Plain Explains. There was a couple of interesting hands I wouldn't mind just quickly going over. So this one, we 3-bet big blind versus button, and I decided to barrel the turn. I think that's fine. We need to find some like non-equity bluffs blocking the best ace-x. I think it's okay. This one was interesting. So it was a cold 4, we call, and then he shoves flop, and I needed 39% on my pot odds thing in stars caption, and obviously 8 outs for the straight times 4 is 32, and then maybe if the 6 and 5 play, maybe we can get there, but I just don't think we have that quite enough 39. Although I'm wondering, like, if he just shoves like ace king, you know, does that bring our percentage up? But then again, if he's shoving diamonds, then that kills some of our straight outs. So I guess I had to fold. This was an interesting one versus recreational. So they overbet the turn, and I figured overcard or 2 overcards, and I got shot. I should probably call. And then the river, I was thinking, king high. Could I check and win? Maybe, but I think when in doubt, it's better probably just to bluff, especially versus recreational, just in case. What if you overbet with ace-x or something, right? Or like something stupid like deuces. You would hate to see that, and you'd rather get the fold, so I decided to bet. This one, blind v blind, I've been trying to use some bigger flop c-bets in 4-bet pots. I think this is fine to do it with. It seems like every time I use a big c-bet size in 4-bet pots, it ends up being wrong, but I think this one's probably fine. And this one was kind of interesting. So we're a little bit deeper. We're 127, and I 4-bet a little bit bigger because we're a little bit deeper. If you don't 3-bet bigger, I think that's a big misconception that a lot of people have. Like, oh, we're deeper, I'm going to 3-bet bigger. You actually want to 3-bet in position smaller, but out of position, you do want to 4-bet bigger. And he snap jammed, and I was like, oh, well, we're deeper, so I needed like 43%. And I'm like, Jax is like really not in a great spot here. But I just figure when somebody snap jams, it's mostly ace king, right? At least that's the way I see it. So we called at ace king, ran it once, we held, so that was nice. Yeah, let's hop back into the action. Enough of that. Hopefully we get some more interesting hands, though. It was a shame. One of the things that I did mention as well, I'm playing night Eastern time. So the pool isn't as big as it normally is, although lately, let's be honest, the pool has never been that big. .500 barely runs without the Russians, and with the Ontario people like me leaving probably in a month, then there's going to be even less volume, which really sucks to see. So that's same recreational. I guess the size is fine. I was thinking, could I size up a little bit? Just thinking now. Maybe this is still better. I don't know. I could be convinced that a bigger size would be better. I'm just thinking, like, I want to make sure those other pairs call. Yeah, I mean, when you see that, you wish you probably size up, right? So maybe that was a mistake. So my time banks are getting a little bit low. One of the things I also mentioned, maybe we'll get a chest here. We'll see. The higher roll. I feel like this hand wants to check back a lot, though. But it can't hurt just to add it in there. With the straight there, the lower board, I think smaller size is better if we want to bet. It's actually an interesting discussion in the GTO Wizard group. Solo did a coaching on his new trainer, and basically the discussion was like, do you pick the size first or the frequency first? I think the answer is actually you pick the size first, but there's boards like a lot of people say, oh, the frequency of your bet depends on the size, but that's not necessarily true, because there's a lot of times where you want to bet big and often and small and infrequent. But I think what you do is you pick a size that the majority of your value would want to go, and then you think about, okay, how much of a checking range do I want to have on this board? And then from there you adjust the frequency of your bet. So if you want to have like more of a checking range, then obviously you have to check more in general with draws and your medium strength and your value. Okay, so versus a rec, we flopped upset. So question is, okay, how do we get the most money here? Well, let's start with a bet, and then let's see. There's still lots of draws and stuff, and they'll call any pair. Well, that makes our lives pretty easy. Wow, he has a straight. Well, I guess we need help. Let's see if we get it. We do. Running pure. The Jackson, now that. I'll take it. And we'll just have to upset again. I actually think, like on this board, we could probably c-bet some, so let's do it. Flush getting there is actually kind of good. I guess we probably majority check our range, so we'll do that. Go for the check raise. Hope to bet, hope to get a raise. I think bet small, go for the re-raise is probably best. That sucks. I added another thing on my stars caption for fun, and that's a timer. So it shows how long it took for the last action. Maybe it'll help find some RTA users. But I mean, I think timing tells exist. I'm just really not good at noticing them and actually doing something about it. I guess with the small size we call. With the lower roll, I'm more inclined to check. Zero. Delay c-betting usually prints. When in doubt, delay c-betting is good. Seems like a fine one to probably have. I mean, some overcards, lower pairs, put them in a tough spot. Short stack reg. It's always annoying. So the 77 will bet, but probably get check raise at high frequency. Versus this gambler. So this is the question I always have. I know people say, oh, when you play a recreational, you want to widen your range, but how much, and is it really that profitable? Because we are, by calling here, we do risk getting squeezed on. That's why we wouldn't want to call a lot. The question is being in the pot with this player worth that risk? I would assume so, but... This, I guess on this specific board maybe we could bet a lot, and I'm just thinking bottom left. I guess we don't want to see a check raise. Although we can probably call it off. That's why I'm kind of uncertain. Yeah, we'll use the RNG excuse and just check. And we get there, nice. I think usually when it's close like that, that probably means it's a mixed decision, so you probably can't go wrong. Like if one option's not screaming out to you, then yeah. And then I guess we just bet like a medium size. Although, you know, you could bet bigger than that, so I'm just thinking here. I mean, if we bet this, probably we might get roughly the same amount of calls. Like if they magically had like pocket sevens, are they really going to call it that much more versus the shove? Like, I don't know. I don't know. Obviously, when you have the nuts, it can't be bad to bet big, but does it just make more sense to bet medium there? I'm not sure. I could be convinced that I'm wrong. I will mark that for review. Also the turn decision as well. This is a wreck that 3x's. I might just fold straight away. This call me crazy about this, but 3x. I don't know. Doesn't say how to win there. That might be crazy to just fold the one bet there, but it's versus EP, and if it's a recreational with the RFI, the range is going to be way stronger. So, you know, I'm not as happy in that spot as if, say, it was versus button. I know fish don't necessarily have positional awareness all the time, but I mean, I don't think. I'm not going to lose sleep over it, but I can understand why you might just want to call once and see what happens. Usually when we play polar on the flop versus a recreation, we want to raise a lot when they stab turn because they overstab, but not when they use that bigger size. Mostly when it's like under 80%. Alright, let's bump this up. Check. Versus this size, call, I guess. wondering how much I want to bet this type of hand on the turn. It's blind v blind, so you can always go really thin. Maybe in retrospect, I'm probably betting way more than I'm supposed to. And I guess versus two, we have to raise, I guess. With the flush getting in there, I mean, a flush would most likely bet bigger, right? So the problem just is, okay, like what are we hoping to get called by? What's the best smaller raise size? Maybe something like that? I don't know. There's worse two pair, Jack X. It's blind B blind, ranges are wider. Maybe the smaller raise size, you might just say, ah, this guy's full of shit. Call. This could get spicy. Let's hope for a queen. I don't know how, there's really not many 5 bets in position, so I'm already pretty scared. Oops, I did not mean to click that hold manager there. Checks back. That's interesting. I have no clue. Does anybody have a clue? I don't have a clue. Am I supposed to call this sometimes? 10 would probably be better for us. I don't know. Check and hope you have jacks. Wow. Alright. Hang on, let's think about this. I'm gonna fold, just because I'm gonna use the RNG as an excuse again. I seem to be doing that a lot, but yeah. But I wouldn't be surprised to see that have to be called sometimes in this. We're gonna fold. Alright. Jacks has to be, right? Ace King. Okay. I don't think deep that Ace King does that, but I'm not really sure either. Lower roll, just call. Here. Because I bet. Oh, I bet. Fold. I know I rolled high and whatnot, but I think when I bet bigger and then get raised, it's not as good as if we bet smaller, which I meant to bet smaller. I didn't even realize that, but yeah, here's what it is. I'll mark that though. Call, obviously. Top left. A little deeper, we'll size up a little bit more. Yeah, I'm really curious about that Ace King one. Obviously, playing deep, I'm not the best, as I pretty much rat holed until earlier this year. But I just know that there's not a lot of 5 bets in position when you're deeper. Spade? Oh, wow. I guess we're running pure. Tens, jacks, queens, still probably bet turn, right? King 10, right? It's 4 bet. I could see some heroes. This might be really thin, but nice. So that's kind of what I was thinking, that those hands are going to bet twice probably. And then what do? I'm going to mark that. I'm pretty sure that was good. But I just want to make sure that I'm not being results oriented. Those of you who have tuned into my streams, you'll know that over the past few months, that has been something that I've been trying to work on, is the thin value bets. I've been missing quite a bit of them. So when in doubt, I'm just thin value betting, and you know, if it's a mistake, I'll try and correct it then, but I'm so far one way, I need to go to the extreme the other way and then kind of tone it back. I think that was good though. Ooh. Ace high board, big blind versus positions. Usually you want to check a lot. Versus EP, I'm not entirely sure because our 3-bet range is so tight. But I mean, yeah, I mean, if we're 3-betting like ace king, like we probably just want to check. Gonna bet there. Same situation on the turn, I suppose. Real low fold. Now we're going to thin value bets. I just struggle to see enough calls to want to thin value bet this. Like obviously there's like jacks, like there are some lower pairs, but are they gonna call? I mean, maybe. If we just made a good value bet and now we didn't, and I think as played we just call. Wow, that's a really interesting hand because I don't know if he's supposed to bluff that. I mean, he probably thinks that, you know, nines is no good in that check down line. I have to find that. Which maybe he's right. Big blind versus under the gun. Because yeah, I mean, what, did I fold the bad hand there? We bet flop and then I went check check. I probably did, didn't I? Oh, no, that's fine. Time banks. I guess checking is going to be good if that player is going to bet hands like that. Or we'll just call. Be careful, time bank, really? That's for calling though. So it's better to do that. Let's just call. Well, I guess we had to lose one at some point, right? We were running pretty pure. I'm wondering if racing is a play. Should have marked that. Alright, how close are we to the chest? That is a ways away. So unfortunately, I don't think I'll play until the chest. I'm sorry. But we opened so many chests on stream and in other videos. I think you guys will live. You don't really want to do this a lot. The question is, do we want to do this with this hand? It's weird because I feel like you can still bet a lot on this board. So when he checks, what does that mean? Unfortunately, we don't have time back to think about that. Is that crazy? I'm gonna just call, but I'm very confused because what really checks back here, but I think I have to call. Okay. I don't know what to think about that. You know, that one I'm really unsure. I guess 8's bad blockers, I guess. Blocks the call flops and then turns into bluffs on the river. Maybe we should have just folded turn or river, I'm just thinking. Or could we have raised as I was thinking? I don't know. But let's set out next blinds and let's see how we did. Sixes mix, I think. Low pairs are usually mixes. This is a fold, actually, I think. Maybe a couple spots here. To end it off. 71, okay. Somebody sending me a text, sorry about that. All right, let's say we did. All right, we did pretty well, EV wise. To be honest with you, this 6-5 one is kind of bothering me because I'm curious to see how much he's supposed to check back. Are my assumptions right, or are they completely wrong? So I'm gonna run this one just to end the video. Right, I have the sim here. Gave it a bunch of different options. Reasonable exploitability. What's interesting is there actually are some donks here. But anyway, we check, and there's actually more of a checking range than I thought. Now, I wonder if it's because I actually ran this deeper, like the actual SPR in-game. Let me pause the video and let's run it at 100 big blinds and see if it's the same. Alright, same tree, the only difference is the SPR. It's funny, the donking goes away now. And there's definitely a lot more betting at 100 big blinds. Now, I think this is definitely a problem I have, and I would assume other people have too, is we study 100 big blinds so much, it's hard to visualize in our mind how the strategy should change when you're deeper, because obviously it should. But yeah, so let's go back to this sim here. So we can kind of visualize the checking range now as we go in the turn. The 8. We actually pure check. I can't remember in game if I wanted to bet or not. I know like when it goes check check, throw a pot's out of position as the preflop caller, you can like stab 1/3 pretty aggressively, usually. And I think it makes sense because a lot of ace highs checking back, even some 5x that we could just try and check down and hopefully chop or win. As played, this player should mainly use 75% size, so we could subtree this just to make it a little bit more accurate. Although, yeah, I guess why not? Okay, subtreat it. Just give him that one size. It's interesting. Now we actually stab more. Yeah. Looking at the range of this betting, I actually think we should probably mostly fold 6-5. And that's just because even the hands that are betting have a lot of equity versus us, and it's even betting like 7s, 9s, 10s, so we're just getting owned here. So why should be like majority fold? Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. But obviously calling's not the worst thing in the world, so we called. Now we get here. The main bluffs are the king, queen, ace, queen, and these low ace X. See, the tough part is we have to, anyway, I can't go back to flop. We have to know that this player is checking these hands and not c-betting them, and then having enough in the delay, like when he gets to this line, have enough bluffs. At the same time, though, are they going to have that much Jack X as well? So it's kind of a weird situation. Anyways, bet, and we mostly call, so it's kind of is what it is. But it is mixed, so I mean, if there's reasons to call pure or fold pure, it's obviously fine. But yeah, I just really wanted to run it to see, and the c-bet strategy did kind of surprise me. But I guess deeper, you kind of just have to play a little bit more passive because the threat of the check raise and putting too much money in with the not enough equity hands. But anyways, that's it. Hope you enjoyed this plain explain. A few interesting hands, obviously ran well. Let me know if you enjoyed this PIO review. And until next time, good luck at the tables.